That's who you guys want me to respect? Because you beat an awful Miami Dolphin? I watched every single ounce of this game. Ladies and gentlemen, it was horrible. Shout out to the rushing game of Judkins. Shout out to the Brown defense that we knew about already. You see me have the jersey for a reason. I am going to expose your Cleveland Browns on this video.
The Browns locker room has turned into a full-blown soap opera, starring Jimmy Haslam as the furious billionaire who's had enough. After Gabriel launched a 55-yard bomb like he was auditioning for the Avengers, Haslam reportedly exploded on Kevin Stefanski for still benching Shedeur. Imagine catching perfect passes while your coach seems allergic to talent. Something wild is brewing in Cleveland, and it's not just the fans losing it.
I don't think they close though. Like, it got so bad, I had to go back to watch Oregon, right? Just to make sure I wasn't tripping. I watched Oregon and I watched Shedeur. Nobody can tell me that he's better than Shedeur. You can't tell me that.
No, not at Shedeur's
You cannot
best.
tell me that.
Not at Shedeur's best.
You can't tell me that.
No.
I watched enough tape and I watched enough football and I know enough to see. When I watch these two dudes, I'll probably watch over 20 games. Just to make sure I wasn't tripping. There's no way nobody that watched both of their films would say he's better than Shedeur.
You could feel it before kickoff, the uneasy Cleveland silence that creeps in when the Browns are about to invent a new way to embarrass themselves. Both teams were 1-5. The Dolphins missed Tyreek Hill, and the Browns missed common sense.
Now, let me keep it real from the start. Shedeur would have played this game 10 times better than what we saw from Gabriel. Hell, Deshaun Watson would have done better right now. Even Bailey Zappi would have done way better than those bubble screens, redundant passes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, Judkins stole.
Somehow, those absences canceled each other out, giving us 3 hours of football that doubled as a masterclass in how not to play. Jimmy Haslam watched his so-called safe choice, Gabriel, throw for an astonishing 55 yards. Not a typo, 55 flat.
That face right there tells you everything you need to know about Shedeur possibly getting in, ever. Oh my God. Look how happy he is. Look at this nigga, bro. I don't know if his number's gonna be called. There's no evidence to suggest that. Oh, they're going Wildcat? Interesting. Wildcat never makes sense to me because you always know what is coming. Oh, they're running it.
You could jog that distance faster than Cleveland found the end zone. A billionaire owner watching his quarterback barely outthrow the halftime marching band, that's not football, that's performance art at its most tragic.
And it looked like Kevin Stefanski is responding to bad reports. Well, it's no secret that Kevin Stefanski has found himself another week, even after getting the win, back into some drama. This time is for not playing Shedeur in the fourth quarter of that game. Now, we know they ultimately walked away, beating the Miami Dolphins 31-6. But what took away from the storyline was the fans' reactions to seeing Shedeur, and more importantly, him not playing.
Stefanski probably thought he was being smart, playing it safe, protecting the team from risk. But safe football is just losing slowly, and the Browns managed to turn safe into a national punchline. Gabriel wasn't throwing, he was donating footballs to the nearest linebacker. The guy looked terrified of gravity. Every pass was a check down, every drive a surrender, and Haslam's face on the sideline looked like he was calculating the cost of firing an entire coaching staff mid-game. This was supposed to be Gabriel's big left-handed redemption story. The NFL hyped it up like a cinematic showdown, two southpaws facing off for the first time since 2006. What we got instead was a pillow fight between two teams allergic to competence. Not even 55 meaningful yards, just bubble screens and dump-offs, the football equivalent of microwaving leftovers. Stefanski's play sheet read like it was written by someone terrified to admit they didn't trust their quarterback to throw beyond 5 yards. 3rd and 8, screen. 2nd and long, draw. 4th and sanity, gone.
And if you are there when Shedeur becomes the starting quarterback, the power dynamic will shift and retribution will be had. Meaning, once Shedeur plays for the Cleveland Browns and they get to see it, and Shedeur becomes the #1 quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski will be fired.
And while all this mediocrity unfolded, Shedeur Sanders sat on the bench like a secret Cleveland refuses to open. The man has championship DNA, pocket poise, and actual charisma, 3 things Dillon Gabriel has never met. You could see him on the sideline, helmet on, waiting for a miracle that never came. The fans saw it. Shiloh Sanders saw it. Pilar Sanders saw it. Dion probably saw it from Colorado and just shook his head. It's like watching your Ferrari sit in the driveway while you keep paying insurance on a lawnmower. Haslam reportedly lost it after the game, and honestly, who wouldn't? Meanwhile, Myles Garrett is out there dragging the defense across the field like he's carrying the entire franchise on his back. He plays every down like it's personal, while the offense collapses like a folding chair. You can almost hear the defense muttering on the sideline, "We stopped them 3 times, and our QB gives it back in 30 seconds. It's not frustration anymore, it's psychological warfare.
Yeah, listen, there's times when you message to your football team, or I should say this, I message the football team every single day, and there's sometimes you use different tools to get their attention.
And have you ever been that intense? The way he described it is that you gave it to them pretty good.
The Philly comes out every once in a while, yes.
Thanks.
All right, next over to Scott.
Hey, Kevin, did that feel like one of the better games that Grant has played? And just how does his versatility help you?
He was awesome. I mean,
The funniest part? Stefanski keeps defending this disaster by saying he's protecting Shedeur. Protecting him from what, exactly? Winning? Experience? The opportunity to throw a forward pass longer than a car length? The guy has already survived college pressure, Deion standards, and an entire NCAA season behind a Colorado offensive line that couldn't block a tweet. He doesn't need protection, he needs a chance. And those excuses about Dillon Gabriel's mobility? Getting old fast. Everyone swore he was the more athletic option. Really? Because when pressure hit, Gabriel's first move was to freeze like a deer trying to file taxes. On one play, a defender came screaming off the edge, and instead of escaping, Gabriel just accepted the sack like a man reading his own termination letter. Meanwhile, the offense revolved around Myles Garrett-level effort just to gain a few yards. The Browns turned Gabriel into their entire offense, and it still looked like desperation disguised as strategy. By halftime, Miami had him completely figured out. Their defense stopped covering deep routes altogether because Cleveland doesn't even attempt them. They stacked the box, dared Gabriel to throw long, and watched him check down like he was allergic to distance.
Something needs to be shaken up.
Yeah.
Like this week. I don't know, head coach, quarterback, GM, whoever it is, that's not it. And B-Mac, when you get blown out by a 1-5 team, and you're a 1-5 team, you get blown out in the NFL.
Rookie quarterback, too.
Yeah, on a rookie quarterback, right?
Without a win.
Without a win.
Let's keep making the case against it.
That plane ride home,
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
bro, that is 2 things. It's either dead quiet or they're going to start cracking the cards out because guys don't care anymore, right? So there is a lack of leadership there.
When the Dolphins' defense knows your playbook by the second quarter, you're not unpredictable, you're predictable and boring. And the fans? They were done. By the third quarter, boos echoed through the stadium like a bad Yelp review. Even the announcers sounded sorry, like they were reconsidering their careers mid-broadcast. Cleveland fans didn't pay to watch a quarterback clinic on self-doubt. At this point, it's not even a quarterback controversy, it's organizational malpractice. You've got a potential franchise quarterback collecting splinters while the safe option racks up stats that would embarrass a high schooler. Haslam's probably pacing through his mansion, wondering how much patience it takes to run out of patience. And let's not act like this is new. It's the same Cleveland script every time: draft potential, ignore it, cling to mediocrity, then fire someone when it all explodes. The only consistent thing about this team is its inconsistency.
Because if you sitting there and you watch the way Dillon Gabriel played today, and you come on the radio show tomorrow talking about he looked best and the team just has to do better, man, you are straight out asinine and diabolical, man. Tony Grossi, we need answers. There's no way that you can speak for Dillon Gabriel no more. Shedeur Sanders, number 12. We want to see Shedeur. Give Shedeur a shot. Let's see what this offense looks like. with Shedeur Sanders in the game.
Stefanski's play calling has officially turned into performance art, predictable, cautious, and painfully uninspired. He's calling games like a man trying to avoid bad Yelp reviews instead of trying to win football games. The locker room has to be a volcano by now. Myles Garrett publicly said everyone needs to step up because the offense is struggling. In translation, our quarterback stinks. The receivers barely see the ball, the tight ends are running routes just for cardio, and the offensive line is blocking for plays that never even happen. This isn't football anymore, it's creative suffering. You can feel the morale slipping as winnable games turn into reruns of bad comedy. If this is the process, then Cleveland's been processing failure for decades. Haslam's breaking point feels inevitable. You can't be a billionaire watching your team turn into a meme every Sunday and not eventually snap. There are only so many bubble screens a man can watch before he starts questioning his life choices. And when an owner gets humiliated on national TV, you already know what comes next: somebody's getting fired.
Sorry, I never thought I'd feel more sorry for a Miami fan than a Browns fan. Oh my goodness. I just want to point these things out. 31-6. Dylan Gabriel is still in the game after they get the ball back. Now I actually am big on, I don't want Shedeur playing any football until Kevin Stefanski is in coaching. I've said that on so many videos. However, you're up 31-6 to a Miami team that's pissing down.
Let's not sugarcoat it, Dylan Gabriel isn't the problem, he's the symptom. The real issue is Cleveland's addiction to safe picks. Safe picks don't win in this league, risk takers do. Look at every great team, none of them got there by playing scared. And while they keep playing not to lose, Shedeur Sanders sits there, built to win, watching someone else rehearse his failure. You need a quarterback who can walk into that huddle and make everyone believe again, but belief isn't something this franchise seems to value. They believe in bubble screens instead. And the funniest excuse floating around? That Shedeur needs more time to develop. Really? How does someone develop from the bench? By osmosis? By watching Dylan Gabriel overthrow 3-yard passes? You don't learn football by spectating incompetence. You learn it by living through the chaos and proving you can survive it.
Getting fired this weekend, which one is it going to be? Is it going to be Mike McDaniels for the Dolphins, or is it going to be Kevin Stefanski? And how can they keep their jobs? When it comes to Kevin Stefanski, since week 14 of last season, you have only averaged 13.7 points. So at this point, we're going to have to see a different quarterback. We already know what Dylan Gabriel is going to get us: a bunch of passes and no yards. Okay, now when it comes to the Dolphins, they have scored 134 points just this season. So all they have to do is worry about defense, because we know they can score. What do you guys think? Do you think Kevin Stefanski is going to stick with the same QB and the same offense that's only been producing 3 to 6 points per?
Every week Cleveland keeps Dylan Gabriel in that spot. They're sending a clear message: we'd rather lose slowly than risk winning fast. That's the culture. That's the disease. And it's exactly why this team lives in a perpetual rebuild. Jimmy Haslam has tried everything: new coaches, new quarterbacks, new slogans, even new prayer candles, but at some point, the problem isn't luck, it's decision-making. Stefanski's running out of excuses. The look on Haslam's face after the game said it all: he's seen enough. The franchise is at a crossroads, and one more safe week might be Stefanski's last. Cleveland isn't short on talent, it's short on leadership. The defense is elite, the run game works, the fans are loyal. What's missing is courage.
So it's official. Kevin Stefanski hates Shedeur Sanders. There's no way, no how, that he's going to actually ever put Shedeur Sanders in the game. If you can read the stats here, the Browns are up 31-6. No thanks to Dylan Gabriel. He only had maybe a little bit over 100 yards, no touchdowns, 2 sacks.
Shedeur Sanders represents the risk Cleveland is too afraid to take. The kid's been built for this since birth. Pressure doesn't rattle him, it sharpens him. He's calm in chaos, precise under fire, and, most importantly, hungry for the moment. That alone makes him the best option. He's not waiting for perfection, he's waiting for the call. Cleveland's coaching staff keeps pretending they're protecting him, but what they're really protecting is their reputation. That's the real fear, not losing games, but losing credibility. If Jimmy Haslam has any sense left, he'll end the charade, fire Stefanski, bench Gabriel, and hand the keys to Shedeur. The fan base is exhausted, the locker room is cracking, and Shedeur doesn't need protection, he needs opportunity. The Browns keep acting like playing him would ruin him. Newsflash, sitting him is what's ruining him. Cleveland can't afford another development year. The clock's ticking, the season's slipping, and the fans are running out of patience faster than Gabriel runs out of reads. 1-6 isn't a rebuild, it's a warning.
Stefanski is now saying, over my dead body will Shedeur get a shot. This is all-time shameful on the part of Kevin Stefanski. He won't even speak Shedeur's name in these interview sessions. There's just a principle involved here where at least you acknowledge that by default, Flacco is now gone. Shedeur moved up a slot. He's second on the depth chart. This was Kevin Stefanski pretty much declaring public war.
So what's next? Either Jimmy Haslam finally loses it and pulls the trigger, or the Browns keep pretending this collapse isn't happening. Maybe Dillon Gabriel gets another start. Maybe Kevin Stefanski gets another press conference. But everyone in that building knows the truth, the experiment failed. It's time to stop pretending. Shedeur Sanders is ready. Until then, enjoy the bubble screens, the booze, and the endless replays of missed potential. This story can still be rewritten, but it starts with one decision: play the guy who actually knows how to play football. Because the next time Jimmy Haslam loses it, it won't just be at Stefanski, it'll be at the entire system that convinced him 55 yards of offense was a strategy. And when that moment comes, the real fireworks will be in the front office.